The Middlesex County Bowling Association was founded on 4th of March 1911. Government of the game in the South was started in 1895 when the London and Southern Counties Bowling Association, composed of private clubs only, was founded. 6 years later, in 1901, the London Parks Bowling Association came into being, providing for clubs playing on public greens. The English Bowling Association was formed in 1903 and accepted both private and public clubs into direct affiliation. The rapid growth of the game, with the consequent increase in the number of clubs, made decentralisation necessary. The natural division gave birth to the county associations, and pursuing the metaphor, various births were accompanied by by many complications and accomplished after much labour. Middlesex was no exception and was indeed particularly unfortunate. Writing long after the event, is now obvious that much of the trouble would never have happened had the EBA then laid down the rule, brought in a few years later, that all clubs affiliated to the National Association should first affiliate to the appropriate county association. Instead, they continued to accept direct affiliations, and this had unfortunate results for Middlesex. Accepting that the events of the early days were dictated by convictions held and remembering that time is a wonderful healer, a start can be made on a long and interesting story. It is also useful here to develop the reasons for the underlying misgivings that clubs affiliated to the London and Southern Counties Bowling Association brought to the inaugural meeting of the Middlesex County Bowling Association. There was an opinion held by members of the London and Southern Counties Bowling Association that most greens laid down in parks were rough and uneven meadow grass surfaces. They objected to playing on these surfaces when affiliated private clubs were used to Cumberland turf greens, and felt that they would be at a disadvantage playing competitions on park greens. The EBA, by allowing affiliation to private and public clubs, had a different and more far-sighted view, recognising that municipal clubs were the nurseries of the private clubs and need to be encouraged. Many private club members had learned the game on these park greens. It was, however, recognised that park greens needed to improve, but then, as now, public funding was in short supply, and it was many years before public greens could compete with the more affluent private clubs. This prejudice of some private clubs very nearly prevented the founding of the Middlesex County Bowling Association, but thankfully there were some stubborn people around at the time, and their dogged determination saw the project to fruition.